Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I want to show you the upgraded T9 instrument cluster display from Tesla C with so many different features and likely the most high quality graphics and UI we have ever seen on any instrument cluster display. You can get 5 different customized UI options by just simply using this scroll wheel on the side, and you can see so many different things that you want to see. You also get a forward-facing blind spot detection camera where if you just press here, you see that, and not only you get the camera, you also get overlay of the speed limit, US-based speed limit, the other standard speed limit, the range, everything directly in your view as well. Pilot warning, everything with the Android Auto or CarPlay, it is fully integrated. And you also get touchscreen buttons, just so much packed here. I wanted to show you this display. Let's get started. This product was sent to us free of charge by Tesla C to review in our channel, and you can select through different things, and I'm going to show you how you can save some money. So Model 3 Highland, left-hand drive with front camera, and you can also just get the camera only if you want. And right now it is showing the cost to be $365. Let me show you how you can knock this down. So if you click here on the coupon code, if you go here and put SHIVATESLA, so this is Shiva Tesla, you're gonna see that drop by quite a bit, so $94 off to bringing that to $270. I'll let you be the judge if this is worth it for you or not, but this is how you can save some money. This is an affiliate code, so we do earn a very small commission at no additional cost to you, which greatly helps us bring videos like this in the future. Thank you very much. Let's continue. So let's do a quick unboxing here. I've said it in the past, their packaging is really nice, and it shows the display itself is a premium high quality display. The graphic is really good, and I expect the same from this one as well. It is just the upgraded version of T9 here. But they package this all really nicely. As you can see, some companies barely even do any type of packaging, but these guys are really good about that. Look at this user manual, an actual user manual with setup and everything embedded. This is amazing, like how they send you this. So it shows, you know, the authenticity and how they thought about this product and made this product. So kudos to them for sending this out. And right here, everything is here, the wiring box, the mount, the front camera, literally everything is here. And I'm gonna show you how you can get this all wired up, and we're gonna do some testing here. They added some buttons and stuff since the last time we had reviewed this unit for Model Y. Today we're gonna be doing this for Highland and Juniper. So it's the same version that works on Model Y, regular Model Ys as well. Let's talk about the wiring and the setup and how to do this. At the first look, this might look a bit overwhelming because there's a lot of parts, but rest assured, this is just a wire routing process. The main components are super simple. First of all, they send you these 2 extra cable that you don't need because these are just spares. So they were nice enough to send spares in case something goes wrong during the install. You're not gonna need any of that except for this white pins that we're gonna connect on this open end cable that you see here. We're gonna just apply this white plugs there. Super simple. I'm gonna show you here in just a second, but let's move this out of the way. Also, they send you this extension cable. This extension cable is just to extend this wires a little bit further. For example, let's say for the camera, if it is not reaching to the location that you want, you can use these cables to get it to reach to that location. So this is simply an extension cable. Or if you want to go through the firewall for the camera, again, extension cable, nothing fancy here. So you may or may not need that extension cable either. That leaves you with just this parts and components. Of course, we know this is just the bracket to install the screen, so super straightforward. Then you got this components here. So there are 2 main wires. One is the camera wire, and one is the OBD and the power wire. Now, this is a USB-C, so if you look at it right here, it says camera, it says 5 volt. Now you plug in this one, this is the camera one, and then you plug this one in. This is going to be your data and the power one. So there's just these 2 cables that you gotta plug here. Then the camera one, you simply plug the camera to it. So you route it to the front, plug the camera. The other power and data cable, you just plug this one in, and that's it. So this one, the end of this, again, with the help of this white ports, they send you plenty, are gonna connect to this box right here. Then the other end of the box, this is just your 12-volt bypass in the front, and this is just your computer cable that we're gonna plug on the OBD, and that's it. So in a nutshell, this is your installation. Camera, and then this computer plug. And if you're not using the camera, you don't even need that. If you just want the computer side of things, you can turn off the camera altogether. But after this is just a wire routing process. Now we gotta route all of that wire to the front. You gotta route all of that wire through the dash to the OBD area. So for the Model 3 Highland and the Juniper, you're gonna have to remove this dash cover, and it is a little bit difficult than the just typical Model 3 or Y, because this is kind of propped in really well with a lot of clips around in both the front and the back. So you wanna use your pry tools, get as many pry tools that you have, and just basically go underneath here and start propping this. Don't yank this out, don't pull this with your hand, just use the pry tool and start propping this. This is very patient work, so you're gonna need to do that at least for the first time, and it might be loose afterwards for other installs in the future, but for the first time this does feel very stuck, and you just have to kind of loosen it using this pry tool. You just have to pry it open, maybe leave some of these tools here, and then make your way all the way through. So this is likely going to take some time if you have never opened this in the past. So as I said earlier, go with the tool. I propped out just one clip here, and this is a long game. You wanna kind of go around with the tool and keep propping this pins out. If you look at it here, so I have been able to take out a couple more pins, and I may have the metal part stuck in there. So I have to figure that out in just a second, but yeah, just go around, keep doing that. This is going to take some time. As you see, it starts coming off. Make sure that this does not go back in once it comes off. But once you get it started, this becomes a lot easier. Like this side, these are already coming off a lot easier. So getting started is the hardest part here. So after you have unplug some of these pins there, I would put like a pry tool or something to hold this side somewhere in the middle there, and I'm gonna do it from the other side. That is because we don't want the dash to fall down and again get on those pins. As you see, like I think I bent some of these metal clips here. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. I can use a needle nose plier to fix that there, but as I said, you have to be super careful, but sometimes that's the only way you can get this off. So I'm gonna go on the other side and then try to get off the rest. So again, same deal from this side here. We're gonna go and start propping this side up, and slowly this is going to unclip. I can hear some of that clip going. So look at it here, that got unclipped. And this is my first time unclipping this. So on the Highland, never removed this one. So that's why it is a lot harder, because the next time around is going to be a lot easier to do this on this car. So here you go. That's how you make your way all the way there. So we were successful on removing this, and let me show you how this goes. So if you look at those pins there, they kind of go in all throughout, and the job is you want to kind of put a leverage on this pin area and pull this up, and there's a whole bunch of them on this dash, and you just have to kind of remove it. Let's go and fix some of them that we may have kind of broken because some of those pins came off. So let me show you how we're gonna fix that. So one of them is right here. You see how this should be flush like that? This came off, so we are basically gonna use a needle nose plier, and then we are going to push this in just a little bit so that it can still grab onto the dash, but it is more flushed, and we're not going to have issues putting the dash back in. Next, we're gonna work on wiring all of this here. It's the exact same process that we have used multiple times. There's gonna be OBD and power. Let me show you how to do that. All you have to do is first unlatch this weather stripping just up to somewhere here by the door. So that's the first step. Now we're gonna remove this panel. Now you're gonna take the pry tool and prop open this panel right here on the side. Just be gentle with this step. It doesn't require much force. You just go up and then prop this out, depending on how many times you have removed this. Mine, I haven't really removed this yet, so it should be pretty straightforward. And there you go. It just comes out, so that's super simple. Next, we have to remove this plastic fastener, and just take your pry tool and prop that open. And if you look at it, this just comes out. So you're gonna keep this in a safe place and then move on to the next step. Next step is really to just remove this bottom trim panel here, and If you look at it super easily, that's how it comes out. Now, when you have this exposed, if you're like me, you might have a billion things here, but if you don't have anything, you're just going to see simple OBD port here. That is gonna be just open OBD port. If you look at it right here, there's just gonna be nothing there, and then there's just gonna be 12-volt connection there. But I already have a bunch of other stuff connected to this, so what we're gonna do is daisy chain this new product with the existing one. Super simple process. You don't need anything special. You can just daisy chain using this open. So there's this open port here. All you do is take this OBD port and simply connect it here. That leaves you with another open port for any other future accessories. So that's how you can do the daisy chain. So now this always has open space for you to plug in another product in the future. Like if I was to get another product like this here, then the next product would just simply plug in right here. So then I can keep doing that. This then plug has another space, so the cycle never ends with these products. Then we are going to be plugging in the power bypass. So power bypass is super simple. You just take this power plug that's coming from Tesla and you push it in the middle and then take this out. And then you simply take this power plug here, connect the female with the male, take this power plug here, connect the female with the male, and there you go. So that's how simple this is. You can just remove it. Again, the goal is you have to push this before you take this out, push and hold, and then take it out. But once this is out, you can do that. Now, let's say in the future, you're like, whoa, I already have all of this connected. How can I add another accessory? Simply, you take this out right here, take the male end of the new accessory, connect it to this female end, take the female end of the new accessory and connect to this male end. That's how you can continuously make daisy chain. Super simple. So now this is powered and it has data. Like, look at that, it is blinking right there. So we are good to go. Now we can go ahead and connect the display, but let's first route the wire. Next, we need to route this cable to the right end. So grab one of these USB-C versus this cable from your kit. There should be so many of them. And as I said, there's a spare. So just grab one of those. And then what we're gonna do is take this end and then pass it all the way to the other side. And because this is so thin, look at that, like it is flat, it's thin, makes it super easy. You can even just let this hang out on the top and it's not gonna affect closing the dash. But if you just want to be sure, you can go through some of these hoops to route it. But the easiest way would be just to go from here, take it out from there, and you don't need any type of a fancy tool or equipment or anything. Like if you look at it, you can kind of see this already making its way there. So you just have to take it out from here and then you can pass it all the way through. So let me show you how I did mine. There is no right or wrong way of doing this as long as you put it on top. You can even use a double-sided tape or electrical tape to just put this down while you put this guy here. So it doesn't really matter. As I say, it's super thin. You're not gonna impede with the closing of that, the dash at all. So as I said, it is your preference on how you want to route it. I just pass it through here, and you can just put this straight right here, and then you can go from this vent to take it out. But it's so small that you probably should put a masking tape here to tie this down if you're gonna go from open here in case it moves. The goal is you don't want this wire to be pinching on any of these clips here. And I appreciate them so much for making this cable little, because some of the companies, if you look at it here, they have made us route this giant plug through this opening, which makes it super difficult. This is for another product that we have here. I'm just keeping these plugs here just in case I have to review another one of those displays that require this giant plug. But I appreciate Tesla C a lot for making this so small where I can just route this through this opening here. And you don't need a fishing wire or anything, because basically when you route it, you can just do that. Like, it's so simple, it's so easy. Then I'm just going to continuously route this towards the right. Now finally, I'm going to pass it through this opening here, and basically when I take this towards the right, I will be able to just grab it from this end here. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's the final step on routing this. So this wire is out, and it was super simple. We just route it from there to here, to here, to here, and now it is out from the side. Now we need to put that little plug here. I'll show you how to do the install, and then we're ready to connect this. Now connecting this cable is also very simple, straightforward process. They made this as easy as possible for you. If you look at it here very closely, you see that this has raised edges on one side and it is flat on the other side. So what you do is you take this, and if you look at it, there is one red wire and then 3 white wire, and that is by design to make it easy for you to be able to install this. So if you look at it right here, there is the red side, and then there's the white side, and then there's the red side here. And what you do is basically from this bigger opening, you take the red wire, align the red wire and the white wires, and then just make sure they're all facing towards the top position with the raised area. And then once you enter this, you basically push it in, and that's it. Like, you push it in, and now all of a sudden you got all those connections here on the top, and this plug is not gonna come out because that raised area went and grabbed onto these openings. So now this is good to go. Like, that's how simple it was. You just had to slide it in. These are stiff enough cables to be able to just do that with an ease, and now this plug is ready to go. Now we are ready to actually plug this in here. So we grab this plug that is connected to the OBD and the power, and then you see this, and you align the top part of this. So you have to kind of press on this part, and basically you insert this here. There you go. Now our plug is powered, and it has got data directly here. Now this is going up to the instrument cluster. Let's go ahead and plug it in and give it a try before we move forward with the camera install. So I always like to do a little testing here before we plug everything in. So this is our data and power cable, and this is where it says 5 volts here. So this is the second port, and we're simply going to just plug this into that second port and then see if this powers on, and we have power. So that is a good sign that this is connected. It is just booting up, and we have the UI. It shows the door is open because I have my door open. Let me do the turn signal, and you can see the turn signal is working. Another side turn signal is working. So we are in business. This is working perfectly, exactly how it is supposed to. So that connection, as I showed you, super simple process. It worked well. Let's go ahead and finish this install. So now we can go ahead and install the camera. This is an optional accessory. You don't have to install the camera. This works independently as well. But I wanted to let you know that this camera is adjustable. So you can install on the bumper, and you can adjust the height. If you want to see just the bottom part of the curb, or if you want to see straight, you can do all of this. Imagine this is a bumper. So now I'm going to show you how you can route this wire and take it to the front. Now for this, their preferred way is to route the camera cable from here to the side through this pillar and then go through. But you could also technically route this through the firewall in the bottom if you want, but it's up to you what your preference is. I'm gonna show you their version of it, but I have a video link down below where I route the camera cable for a different product through the firewall as well, just as an example. But it's also very simple. You just have to route this cable through the side here, but for that, we gotta remove this panel. So first, undo this weather stripping a little bit so that you can successfully remove this panel. And what you have to do is take your pry tool, just like the other side earlier, and pry open this one, and then this just simply comes out. So again, routing this cable is exactly the same thing. You wanna put this wire, the open exposed wire, through this area here. So I would probably push it from here and then towards the left side here. And once you push it a good chunk, you can actually reach from here, and you can probably see the plugs come through, but it's just that you have to aim it and then keep pushing it, and it's just gonna take a little bit, but you'll be able to see that. So as you can see, we have passed it through here. Now we just gotta route this cable to the front. So as I said, their preferred method is to route this through here and then take it out from the top of this so that we can just route it through the door panel, but you can also do it through the firewall if needed. Let me just quickly show you here. And that's it. Like, there's not much to this. You can just put the panel back on at this point. So you can put this side panel exactly like how you removed it earlier, and this all hides. The cable, everything hides. And now we gotta just route that to the front. Now at this point, you just have to go through this opening here in the door. Because this cable is so thin that you are able to just route this through here and then hide it in the bottom. If you look at it, it just kind of goes and hides into that door panel. It's not even visible from looking at it because it simply slides into the bottom. And then from here, you just have to keep routing this cable routing job to the front. Now this plug here is the exact same idea as the OBD one in the front that we added. There is this raised area, this location here on the top, and what you got to do is bring this plug and look at this. This red is aligned on the right. You just have to align the red to the red. So like this, face this towards the front, and then there is the ports, and all you have to do then is to just insert this one at a time or together and simply slide this in, and you are good to go. Like, this plug is ready to be used. Now we need to connect the extension to this. So as you see, this is not going to reach the front. That is where this extension cable comes through, and all you have to do is plug in the plug that we just made here and push this in. Now this is good to go. Now all of a sudden you got all of this length that will definitely reach the front location for the camera. So at this point, now you should have removed this front panel. And if you're asking why I haven't removed mine, because I already have a camera installed on another product and I don't need another camera to be plugged in here. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna show you the process of how I install this camera. It's exactly the same for this install. The camera is gonna look slightly different here, and this plug, instead of looking like white, is gonna look yellow in the video, but the process is literally the same. You just have to route this from the bottom. There is an opening here, route it up, and then you are able to just make this connection. Then after that, it is just a wire management. Just use some zip ties to put the wire, and that's it. Like, there's not much different than the video that I'm about to show you, but just in case you got confused, like, wait a second, the camera does not look the same. It does not. It looks slightly different, but the process is exactly the same. No matter what model of the car that you got, first thing we gotta do is remove this air vent panel here. Just go over here and you can just basically start popping this up, and there's a bunch of clips that just come out, and you're able to just loosen this. Just go around and do that. This is exactly the same mistake. Highland, Model Y, Juniper, even the older Model 3 is exactly the same process. So you just want to release these clips and kind of pop this out from here, and just go around, and this will just come off. So step number one, remove this. Next, we're gonna be removing this unit here. As I said, this just pops out, no problem. We can just leave it here. Next, we need to reach over here and remove this panel. Removing this panel is extremely easy. You just have to go behind here and prop this out. So if it is a little too tight, you may need to use a pry tool, but usually it just props out like this. There you go. So this is loosened. You've got your bar here for the toe, and we need to disconnect this. If you have an older car, this tow bar might be right here, and this is a little lighter. This is heavier because in Highland they put it here, and I believe in Juniper too. To remove this, it's a super simple process. You just have to hold on to this clip and just simply pull this out, and it just comes out like that. So we're good to go. Now we can put this away, and then start removing this unit. So for this next step, we need to remove these 10mm sockets. There are only 4 in Highland, and I believe same in Juniper, but just check, they're visible, like out there where you need to remove those. Any 10mm socket that you see, you can remove it. It might be on a clip right here. Some may have it connected there, and if you have like a regular Tesla Model Y, you are also gonna have a clip right here. So just Be careful where this is going. It's super simple. It's the same process. So we're gonna use a 10mm socket wrench to remove that. And if you work in a car, you know that 10mm gets lost so easily. So take care of it. Let's go ahead and remove all of this. So again, super simple process. We're just going to use this ratchet wrench here. You can use a power tool, doesn't matter. My advice is to leave this inside the front because we're gonna be removing it. And then so just go make your way around. There are just 4 in our case. Now your job is to basically go around and start pulling this up. There's gonna be some clips on the side. Don't apply too much pressure, but it's as simple as just popping this up. And as I say, be gentle. If it is not coming off, then something might be stuck. So just keep that in mind. But our case, we just have to make our way from one side and then go from this side and then pull this up. So right now, this does feel a little stuck. So I'm gonna check what is going on. Now, once you loosen everything from all ends, you can kind of grab here and then pull this out. If it feels like something is stuck here, just give it some force and it will just come off. This whole thing just comes out super easily. On mine, they had installed 2 red pins on the bottom there, which go like right here and on the other side. So while you're pulling it, you have to apply some force, but just keep that in mind. If it feels stuck, maybe it is those pins. Now, I've seen that on some cars. It even slides out from there. So Tesla is not really standard on a few of those models, depending on where it came from. So if it slides, if there is a little gap here that you see, that's probably what you gotta do. So the next step is we're gonna fish the wire from the bottom to the top here. And it's a little bit difficult on a Model 3 because there's not a lot going on, but let me show you how I ended up doing it. So you take the fishing cable they sent with the kit and you get yourself a mat because you have to lay down for this if you're doing on a Model 3. Model Y, maybe not so much. And then if we peek through here, what it has is a rubber material that goes through there. So you're gonna have to reach underneath here and push up slightly. So if you use your finger or a screwdriver or something, you can push this up slightly. So if I show you right here, right there. So that, you see this material inside? That is just a flexible rubber. So you're able to just simply push on it and that opens up a little bit of a space for you where you can put this thread here and then you can grab it from over there on the top. So that's what you gotta do. Don't worry about being a center or anything quite yet because we're gonna figure that out after we put the camera, but that's how you can push this through. This step, you're going to align with this middle socket here. Just kind of eye it depending on your OCD level. For me, that seems like pretty in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is just go down here and then I'm gonna be installing the camera right here in the middle. But you can kind of figure this out for yourself, what you want, and you're gonna use an alcohol wipe to clean the space and then let it dry, then we're gonna be installing it. Now, once you clean this surface and you found the middle, what you do is remove this 3M adhesive cover from here. And so we're gonna remove this. And what we're gonna do is actually align this. So if it is the center, so for me, the center is gonna be right here. But what you need to check for is make sure the camera is at a same level as the bumper, because if it is too far ahead, it's going to give you false alarm that the objects are a little bit closer. So kind of eye this to see where things are at. So for me, I think if I put it right here, that seems about right. You just gently apply this, and I would actually step back and make sure that looks center. This looks good to me, and I'm able to just push this down to see the bottom part for alignment or whatnot. So that kind of looks good to me, but step back and see if it is center or not for you. Once you're satisfied with the placement, go ahead and just press and hold and just sit there with this holding up for a little bit, like up to 10 seconds or so. You can push this camera down, press it, just make sure that the glue got this, and yeah, this seems pretty strong to me. And look at this. As I said earlier, you're able to adjust the angle of this. If you want it straight, if you want it a little bit down, if you want it further down to even see this bumper here, like you could even do that to see the edge of this bumper if you want. So that's what we're gonna be looking at. This is pretty good to me. So now let's route the camera all the way inside. Next, we're going to grab this camera cable that we routed from the bottom, grab the extension from earlier, align the arrows, and simply push it in. And to further secure this so this never comes up, because if this does come up, you're gonna have to remove the whole front panel again. Put some electrical tape and basically secure this connection so that it has no chance that it is going to come off ever. Now at that point, it's just a wire routing job. Now we are ready to put this bracket with this display and close this all out. This is a silicone bracket, so I was a little hesitant how this is gonna work, but I think they applied a strength on the areas that is mostly needed. Like this is harder, there is a metal piece here, and how this works is basically, if you look at it here, it is opened on the back and there is your air vent, and then there is that opening here in the front. So basically it's gonna take all of that air vent from the back and push it towards the front. So you're not blocking too much airflow because it's a small unit here. There's still plenty of airflow that is gonna go straight to your face on both sides. It is just that now it is passing that airflow straight through these vents on the front. So that's what they did. And to get this installed, you just have to grab one of the plugs and face it from this hole. So pass it from this hole here. Then you take the camera plug from the other side and again pass it from here. And we're going to be facing this towards the top position, and just align it like that. Now we need to find a central location for this, and basically we're going to just sit this down here with the central location, and you can hide the cable from the back. So that's what we're gonna do. Next is simply we need to plug it in. So again, it's aligned really well that this is the camera cable, and the camera cable is towards the left, and then the power cable is towards the right. So we're gonna plug in the power cable here, and then we're gonna plug in the camera cable here, and that's it. Now we can pull the slack from the back here and simply secure this into its place. And there you have it. Like, this is good to go. And now we can put the dash back in. And it is powered and good to go. And this is one of my concerns with them, is they are using a soft silicone as a bracket here. So the disadvantage is going to be, it's not gonna rattle, but it is going to be a little bit loose compared to, you know, if it was a hard plastic here. So just keep that in mind. At first I was like, is this even gonna work? But looks like it does work, and you can see the air vent and everything. It's not gonna come off because you're gonna be putting the dash from the back here. So the dash is gonna be holding onto this piece. So it's not gonna come off, but this is a soft silicone. So you just keep that in mind. It's a soft silicone piece. So this is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna show you the demo and everything, but just wanted to bring that up so that you get the most accurate information. This is not a hard shell piece. This is a soft silicone. And I don't know why they went with soft silicone, maybe ease of manufacturing, but I wish they just had made that a hard piece. Now the final step on this process is to put the dash back on and make sure that the wires are not gonna get pinched on any of those openings. Now, as I said, just then bring this dash cover back on, push it in, and if it is not going in, likely something got on the way, so just keep that in mind. There you go. Everything is pushed in and it's clicking. We are done with the install. So this is fully installed, and there is your air vent there. I'm super excited to show you all the demo of what it looks like. And this is what it looks like from the back. Aesthetically, they did a really good job. It looks very fit in an OEM because they even matched the color here, and it looks really cool with this one that is super aligned. But my only concern is, again, them using the soft silicone here instead of a hard shell. So it's not gonna come off or anything, but it's just going to, if you touch it and if you move it, it's just going to be a little bit, it feels wobbly, it doesn't feel as strong. It's not gonna come off. Like, I can pull this, it's not coming off. I can move this around. It's not just gonna fall out while you are driving, but it does feel a little weird, right? Like, this is a soft piece here. So just keep that in mind. Like, I'm pulling it, it's not coming out. So this is not going to rattle or anything, but it's just, I wish they just stick with the hard shell piece instead of silicone. Okay, now let's go through the settings and all the UI and everything, the options here. So this is what you look like. This is UI number 1. You got the speed here in large Tesla fonts. You see the car in the middle, and then all the settings and everything on the right. You see headlight and everything here, the battery, the range, the temperature, the time, everything is just shown right there. And how you can control this depends on the steering wheel control or the touch button, but basically that middle one where you see the car is a direct correlation with the Tesla's UI here. So if we were to open the car door, you see that the car door opens and the Tesla's car door opens. You close it, so it shows. So that's what you're gonna see here with that UI number 1. You open the trunk, the front, everything, it just directly shows here. And if we were to go into different modes, so if we were to put this into drive, you see that it went with the drive mode here. And if we park it, it comes back and shows exactly like what Tesla does. If we were to take this to reverse, you're gonna see that as well. So it matches with exactly what Tesla is doing, and it looks pretty cool. That looks like a actual Model 3 Highland, which is my car, and it has that press and hold to brake, all of that the sign that you typically see here on the Tesla, it actually matches that here, which is really cool that they are able to figure that out. So that's what you get with the UI number 1. Just add a view here, and with this UI, if we start driving, of course, that is going to start showing the speed and everything. Let me show you on a drive mode what that looks like. So that's UI number 1 with all of that stuff. It is going to show blind spot detection and everything while we drive. I'm going to show you all of that in just a second. Again, this is the turn signal. Both turn signal, you're going to see autopilot. There's a lot that you see while you are driving. So now, as I said earlier, you could control this completely using this steering wheel buttons, both sides, or you can just do the touch screen here. So if you want to control this using the steering wheel button, all you have to do is just, if you swipe it just once, you are going to go through the different menu options that you see on the top. So swipe it just once. You're gonna go through Android Auto, the camera, everything. It's just going to be that when you swipe it just once. Now, if you were to swipe this up one, like a big swipe, well, the car is not in autopilot. This does not work when the car is autopilot, so it doesn't interfere with the autopilot setting. If you just swipe this up, you're gonna go into different UI. So this is your UI number 2. This is your UI number 3. This is UI number 4. And this is going to be your UI number 5, which is kind of plain. And then if we were to swipe again, you go back to your first UI. So 5 UIs, that's how you can go between different settings. Now, if you want to completely turn off the steering wheel setting to not interfere with anything, you can do that by going through the settings menu. So let me show you the settings menu next. Now, just generally, to go into any of these options, so going into settings, you just have to press this towards the right and that activates it. And to come back to the home screen at any time, just push this towards the left and it goes back to the home screen at any times that you are in. So if I was to just press this, it goes into the setting. If I want to go back to the home screen, I press this once and it goes back to the home screen. While we are here, it is also, the volume could be controlled by pressing this up or down, which is exactly what you can do here. So there's just not that different than the Tesla's original control. To bring up the camera on demand at any time, you just have to press and hold onto this for a couple of seconds towards the left, and the camera just pops up. That's the front camera. To get rid of the front camera, you just have to press this towards the left again to bring up the main menu just once, and that front camera goes away and you see the menu here. So let's go on to the settings. So here on the settings, you can do display volume, you can do the display the brightness of the display. So if you wanted to just, this is in auto right now, so if you were to bring to manual and swipe this, you can do that, but you can also leave it as automatic there. So that's what you get. This is the dark versus light versus auto. The display, this is the car, so white, black, red, gray. This is your the rainbow road. So if you want the autopilot rainbow road, you can do app on or app off so that it doesn't show a rainbow. ASD is your front camera, so if you install a front camera, you do on or off. This is 12-hour, 24-hour format, and then this is the speed limit sign. So if you do general, it is going to show the speed limit with the red circle. If you do American, you're going to see the regular rectangular American speed limit sign there. Now, if we were to go to controls here, this is where you can change the PSI to bar PSI, loudspeaker versus Bluetooth. So if you want the audio of this coming out of just the speaker or connect to Tesla via Bluetooth, this is your manual or auto. This is your Bluetooth connection. So if you set this to auto, then it is going to automatically come to the car, and if you have a CarPlay on, it's going to automatically connect to CarPlay using your phone. If you set this to manual, then you have to manually activate that. So if you have any issues with your Bluetooth interfering with CarPlay while you have the car parked and you don't want that, like in the past display, you can now go to manual for that car connection with the Bluetooth. This is steering wheel control on or off. So if you want the steering wheel control that I showed you earlier with the buttons, if you want that on or off, then you can do that. This top one is the driver profile, left or right, temperature, Fahrenheit or Celsius, and this is the color or arrow. So if you want the turn signal to be either colored or arrow, just arrow, then you can do that, or color is like that covers the entire side. That's what you do. And then again, ASD is manual or automatic, which is the front camera. So if you want to manually bring it up, then you can select manual, or if you want to bring this up automatically, where the front camera just automatically comes up, this is where we set this to auto. Now, if I was to put my car into drive, because that is auto, that automatically comes up. This camera feed is going to go away after the car reaches about 10 some miles per hour, but that is the automatic, right? So then you can get rid of the automatic by just pressing here once and it goes back. But if you were to, let's say, set this to manual, then if we were to put the car into drive, it is not going to bring up that camera. So that's what you get with the manual or automatic version here. So that is all the control options. Just wanted to quickly demonstrate the arrow versus the color. So this is the arrow option with the turn signal. You see that it just has that arrow on the top. And if you just want to see that there, or if we wanted to go to the settings here, go to controls, and then instead of arrow, if we want to say color, and we go back, now if you look at it here with the color, you're going to see the display showing it in color on the side. So that's the difference that you get with the arrow versus the color. Now we are going to go to system setting. You can set some languages here. There is 5 different UI that you can select from. Right now we are in UI number 1 and it's just a rolling, so you can go and select UI number 2 or 3. This is a speed limit warning, so if you cross 50 miles per hour, 60, 70, 80, you can just have a warning pop up here. And then finally, this is your time. So if you wanted to select the time, whatever time that you're in, let's say UTC -6, that is currently the Eastern time, that is what you're gonna see. So their last option here is the software update, and you just need to make sure that your Wi-Fi is connected. And when you go to this version, so Model 3, Model 3H, this is the Highland, all of that here, and the MCU. So if you wanna press on the Model 3 Highland, as you look at it, the software update begins, and once that goes through, we're going to be able to see the update happening. So right now it is showing, and yeah, it says do not cut off the power, upgrading. So now that is just going to go through. This is for the Highland update. Now there is also another setting option where you just swipe this down and you can have a quick settings here. So go to setting, CarPlay, Android Auto, you have the volume control, the light control, and it comes with a bunch of other settings. This one is the steering wheel control on, so that's the quick setting. This one, if you just turn it on, this is just when there is the car in blind, the autopilot, it is going to show the nag for the autopilot, which is really important. So I would recommend you turn that on. This is a seat massager, so basically that lumbar support going up or down and up and down for the seat massage if you toggle this on the driver's seat. And then this is just a wallpaper, so if you just want this as a time wallpaper, so turn off the display and just show time, this is what you're gonna see. and those are the settings that you get here. And then on the bottom you get door opening. So if we were to pop this open, you're gonna see one of the doors open. So for example, let's say, and you can closely look at this to make sure that it works. So right now there is no door open, but if we were to press this, you see that the front passenger door just opened. And if we were to press this, that other door open, and then pressing this, the final door opens. So you see that it actually unlatches the door so that it opens, which is really cool. This is battery preconditioning if you want to manually precondition the battery. And to be honest with you, I do not know what these two are, some kind of automatic light and the audio sign. So I'm gonna see what that is and then put it in the video if I find out during editing process. But that is what you get with all the options here. And then it shows you the little gesture here that all you have to do is swipe up and down to get into those. And look at that screen that shows all the stuff that has opened. This is what it does with the door unlatching. It just allows your passengers to open this. This is the boot up logo that you see. It's really cool, and it synchronizes with the car. So this is UI number 1 in motion. As you can see, the car is driving, the speed and everything is here that you can see, and depending on how you have it set up. So if you have the speed, the turn signal set up with the light, that's what you're gonna see. If you have it arrow, you're gonna see on the very top, but it's a very standard UI. And if there's a car in a blind spot, it will actually pop up on the side, and it will actually show you on the side with the yellow as well. So that is basically UI number 1. And if I was to toggle the autopilot on UI number 1, this is what you're gonna get. So it shows the rainbow color. You can actually remove that rainbow and just have that little sign show up. And if I was not paying attention to the road, it's going to give me a warning, and you can clearly see the warning right there. So that's the autopilot warning. It flashes, it shows you to pay attention to the road. So that is UI number 1. Let's go to UI number 2. So this is what you get with UI number 2. It is very similar to UI number 1, but just a slight difference with the dials on the side. So you see the settings there, and then you see the dial on the side with some driving stats. And what you can do is you can go through different options by just scrolling the settings icon to CarPlay, Android Auto. You can pull up Android Auto and everything on demand at any time. So if I pull up the Android Auto, that's what it looks like here because my phone is connected. And then you can go back to the main screen here, and that's the UI that you get. And if you were to toggle autopilot, you'll see that, and it is nagging already. So you see that as well. So that is UI number 2. Now this is going to be UI number 3. So you see the dial with a couple of speed, so you can see when you speed there, and you can see all the information. Again, the right side stays the same. You can always get and see the CarPlay, anything that you need to see there. And if I was to toggle autopilot, you see that the autopilot is there, and the nag shows up with the blinking light on the very top as well. So that is UI number 3. This is UI number 4, so a little bit different than the UI number 3, but similar. But now you get extra dials on the side with different info. So you get time on one, you get other things on the side. There's a glare, so I am going to move just a little bit to show you better here. But ignore that. That was just saying I departed from my lane. But that's UI number 4. So that's what you get with the little dial that moves up and down with the speed, and the turn signal and everything is again same for everything. You see that autopilot is available in this case, and that's what you're seeing with the gray there. So let me turn around and let me toggle the autopilot here, and you see that there is the autopilot there. When I toggled it, it is blue. You can see it, and then if I needed, or if it was gonna nag at me, you'll see that it is going to flash. So right now it is flashing on the top, which matches with the Tesla's flashing, which is crazy good, and it tells me that I need to pay attention to the road, which is great. And if there is a car in my blind spot, it will show on the side as well. And then there is this minimalist UI. So this doesn't have much, just there is that speed in the middle. So if you don't want any distractions of any sort and just have that speed, that is your final UI. And if you toggle the autopilot, you still get the autopilot, you still get the nag, you still get everything, but this is just very minimalist. So you see the nag there with the flashing light on top. So those are all of your UI options, and we get back to this one here. And all of them support blind spot detection system. All of them support everything else. It's shown in different ways, which is, they just offer you so many options. So now we are going to show you the blind spot detection system. There's going to be car in my blind spot, and you see that it is yellow, indicating that there is a car in my blind spot. And while the car is in blind spot, if I was to flash, it flashes red, letting you know that the car is in blind spot, and I was trying to toggle and go into that lanes, which is really cool that it shows that info. There's going to be another car, and I'm going to show you here that it is red, and it even shows the car in there, which is really crazy. So here's the different UI here, and there's a car in my blind spot, and you see that if I flash red, it shows as red, which is good, and it also shows on the middle that there is a car in my blind spot. Here is another UI, and it shows the car in the blind spot in two different locations. And as I said, if I was to flash, well, there's a car, it just flashes red, letting me know that there is a car in my blind spot. Here's the other UI, and you see the car in my blind spot. Again, same deal, it shows, and if I was to blink, it will show red. Here is another view on that simple UI there. It shows car in the blind spot, and it is that red. And then finally I go back to this UI here, and it's just that it's really cool that with this option you see the car right here as well. So if there was a car that was approaching on my blind spot, you see it here as well as you see the yellow. So there is gonna be that car that's coming here, and look at that, the car pops up, and if I was to flash, the car becomes red, letting me know I can't go into that lane, which is so awesome to see that directly in my view. Let's talk about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So for CarPlay, if we were to press here, it says to go to Bluetooth, find the car, and we went to Bluetooth. There's this symbol here, so we're gonna connect it. We're gonna hit pair, we're gonna allow, and now it is just going to take a second, and it's going to recognize that's the car. And now it says CarPlay. Yes, we want CarPlay for sure. And now it's just going to take a second before this realizes there's a car with the CarPlay. There you go. Now we got CarPlay. So that's how simple it is to have CarPlay in your car. I really like that. It keeps the speed here, all of this information, the speed limit, you see the range and everything. It's a very integrated CarPlay screen, unlike some of the other screens that we have seen. So that makes it a lot better that you see all of that info. And while you are on the road, the blind spot detection and everything still shows on this CarPlay screen. So if you're on this CarPlay screen, this is the main screen that it controls from your phone. So let's say if we were to click on maps, it is just going to take over this screen, but the side screens are fixed with the car's information, so you'll always be able to see everything on the side screen as well. So that's what you get with the CarPlay. Of course, this is a full version of CarPlay where you can get Waze, you can get Google Map, you can get Apple Map, you can do all of that good stuff using this CarPlay, and you get a little bit of extra information on the side. So that's it in a nutshell. That's what you get. And if you set the connection to automatic on the setting, this is always going to just toggle on and just have it for your reference here. And to activate Siri here, what you have to do is just press this towards the down and hold it for a little bit, and the Siri activates right there. Hey Siri, play song using Apple Music.
I'll need to access your YouTube music data to use the app. Is that okay?
There you go. So if you look at it that, and then to cancel this out, you just press and hold towards down, and then it goes away. So that's how you can activate Siri using this. And the volume control, again, is up or down just does the volume control. Even with CarPlay, you can still use the steering wheel control. So if you look at it here, I am able to still control various aspects of this. You can call Siri to do this, but you can also just activate the steering wheel control, and be able to change so many different settings here. And as I said, like to go to that specific setting, all you have to do is, let's say we want to go to search or destination. So search, we can then tap this towards the right, and it goes into the search function. Then you can say, okay, send me to gas station, tap towards the right, and all the gas stations comes up. And then let's say send me to Sheets, and go.
Starting route to Sheets.
There you go. You see that? And
West
it
on LaSalle
is
Avenue.
working perfectly
Then take the
fine
first
just with
right
the
onto
control of
Greenfield
this.
Road.
Waze is probably one of the biggest thing you want to access using this, and you can look at there. There you go. You look at that, like you are good to go. So now you're gonna see all the information of the Waze that you typically see on the phone's Waze app, and you're all set. Now let's do the same thing with Android Auto. It just says to connect to this device, the 1B78. So we're gonna look for not that. We're gonna look for 1B78. We are going to pair it. And my phone is a little bit of older phone, so it might take a little while, but I already see Android Auto popping up on the top. So it's just going to blink here in just a second. Yep, that's a good indication. So Android Auto is gonna be working here, and there you go. You got Android Auto. It's just gonna take a second. As I said, this is an older phone, but now it gives me Android Auto. So whatever I wanna do with the Android Auto here, I'm able to go, I'm able to see all the options, and I have Android Auto. So if you look at it here, I can download Waze, I can download anything here, and just have a full version of Android Auto. And just like the CarPlay, I'm able to use the scroll wheel here to be able to go between different things. And if I ever want to just go back to the home screen of the car, I can just go back here. So as I said before, one of the big benefit of this is that you get all the critical car information while still being in Android Auto or CarPlay. So like if I was to flash, it flashes red, letting me know that there is a car in my blind spot. And it shows all of that info. You can see the speed. And if I was to go over the speed limit, I start seeing that speed limit, over speed limit sign because of that. So the red, the yellow, all of that is just shown here, embedded here. And even if I was to toggle the autopilot, you're gonna see that. So the autopilot has been toggled on, the blind spot detection system, everything is just embedded here, which makes this really cool, easy to read, and all the information directly on my view. If the car, even in autopilot, if there is a car in my blind spot, it actually shows up either right or left. And if I was not looking at the screen, or if I felt like it was distracting, it will show that there is a flashing sign, and it will show that there is a nag on the screen, which is, you know, again, just showing all the sheer volume of information that you get is just amazing directly in front of you, and still being able to use the CarPlay or Android Auto on the screen. So as you see, the nag, it is flashing on both sides that I need to pay attention to the road. So that's the nag that you see there. Now let's talk about that camera. Why do you need it? Sometimes there is just blind spot in the front, and that's why they included a camera on the Juniper for Tesla. I wish they retrofit for everything, but it just shows you a little bit more visibility. For example, like if you are in this situation where you can safely go to the front, but what you're not seeing is there is gonna be some stuff in the front. So if I was to toggle this here, you're gonna see that there is a obstacle in the front, and the camera is able to show that obstacle. So it just gives you a little bit more visibility. And there's two ways to toggle this camera, as I said. So manual option is, you know, you can go here and then just toggle this towards the right, and the camera turns on if it is set to camera. But if you are in a different mode and you don't want to switch to the camera, you can just press and hold this towards the left for a little bit, and then the camera turns on. And you get all the overlay with the camera, everything, and then press it again once, and then that goes away. So that is with the manual mode. Now, if you want this camera to just pop up automatically, as I said earlier, when the car is in the drive mode, then you can also do that by going to the setting here and go to this setting and then go here and then toggle the ASD. ASD is on, and then on the control, you can say ASD as auto. So with this auto control of the ASD, which is the front camera, what you do is as soon as you toggle to drive, the camera just turns on and you will be able to see any obstacles or anything that you have in front of you. And once the speed reaches about 10, 12 miles per hour, I think, then this automatically goes away. But as I said earlier, you can always bring this up at any time by just simply pressing and holding this towards the left. So that's the camera option. As I say, it just gives you a little bit more visibility in front of you. All right, this is time for the infamous airflow testing here with the instrument cluster display. So what we do is we basically show you how much airflow is passing. There is a air vent here, and I could feel it. It's in airflow 1 right now. The setting is set to 1. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like periodically through 1, 5, and 10. So this is 1. So obviously you're not gonna see much airflow even with directly in front of the screen. Here you're gonna see a little bit more airflow because it is on the side, but here directly you're not gonna see much. And so that's just airflow 1. And it's super hot right now, so I don't expect anything to happen with 1. Let's take it up a notch to 5, and when you go to 5, you are going to definitely see the paper moving here. Even here you can see that you can get the airflow. As you see, the paper is moving. Of course, if you go on the side here where there is no screen, you're gonna see a lot more airflow, but directly in front of the screen, even with the air vent here, you're gonna see some blockage because that's just the nature of this screen. So this is at 5, but like directly to my face, I still feel the airflow, and you can see the paper is moving. So that is at 5. Now let's take this to 10. So blasting the airflow, of course you are gonna see a lot of airflow coming through because you're blasting it here. There is a lot because there is an air vent that is hitting here and then diverting all the airflow. So you're gonna see that, and directly to your face, you're gonna see a lot of airflow coming here as well. As you see, the paper is moving quite a bit here, but of course, if you put it directly in front of it, you're gonna see a lot of airflow. So that's what you get. Even though this is pretty good with barely like a small form factor here, you're still gonna see some blockage even with the airflow coming from this silicon phase here. So I think they just need to increase the size of this to make it better, but not too bad. Still wanted to show you that what to expect, especially on a hot summer day. You're definitely gonna see some decrease in airflow. All right, so here's my verdict. I drove around for a while, testing different UI options, the blind spot detection, everything is just amazing. It fully synchronizes it. It doesn't feel like a forced, a bulky UI. It is just instant. It doesn't take 5 seconds to load. It just instantly loads. And you see the blind spot detection and everything. They thought this through really, really well, where the color pattern, it's not just like a square that you put for blind spot. It is very nicely done. So kudos to them. The UI, again, just so amazing. I wish all the displays just had this UIs, and you can go through different UI options. They're matching Tesla fonts. They show you so many different options on the screen, and it's just the execution of this in terms of the technology that they put into it is just amazing. You see the CarPlay, Android Auto, and you get to see the car information on the side with those as well. So all of that works great. It is amazing. The AC did not bother me like I thought it would. I always leave my AC into somewhere between 3 and 5 and then 10 if it is 100 degrees out. Today we had somewhere in the 88 to 90 degrees while I was testing this out outside, and it didn't bother me at all. I had it set to 2 to 3 and the AC still kept coming, even if it's not just blowing directly to my face. I still felt the cool and it didn't bother me. I wasn't, fried inside the car. So I think the AC works great. So that execution is also really amazing. The only thing that bugs me about this, and I wish they just made this a hard plastic shell for the bracket. I do not like this silicone. Maybe it is easier for them to build it, but I hope that in the future iteration, they just make this hard plastic. Even if it is hard silicone with the hard plastic inside, I don't know, 3D print it. they could do so many different options with this. Please, 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 Tesla, see, make this work. Then this will be a winner, right? The installation is easier than the other displays because, especially for the Highland and Juniper, because the wire is so small that you can just run this, unlike the bulky wires or anything. So as long as they figure out that bracket for mounting, I think this just becomes on the top of our list. So overall, really good job. Everything works great. The blind spot detection system, as I said, everything was tested. The autopilot, the chime, the warning, just amazing. It works great. So that's what I wanted to show you. I want to know your thoughts, your comments, your likes, your dislikes, anything that you want to drop me in the comment section below. Please do so. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found today's video helpful, would like to see videos like this in the future, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back again soon.